Save it. Save it. All right. Yeah, Liam Zom's in the house today too, man. Off to the side here in the funky clothes. Yeah, buddy. Henry, am I close enough to my mic?
Oh, you certainly are.
How about Liam? Test your mic.
Testing, testing. 1, 2.
You got Liam's mic in there?
I'm getting that up right now.
Keep talking.
I'm talking.
Oh, yeah.
Mic testing, live testing.
I've got it. Ooh, are you there? I'm here for you. Guess who's in the studio? Whoa. Mr. Bob Mullins, all the way from Denver, Colorado.
All the way from Venice Beach, California. I flew out on Monday, and this is news. I recently relocated in Venice to a new place. And it's fantastic. A little guest house. I'm 12 blocks from the water. And there's a lot of weird stuff happening in Venice with the homeless thing, but I'm not homeless. I got a nice little house there.
Rob, you've got This Way Is Up. My God, you have just brought the house down with this one.
This Way Up.
This Way Up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I mess it up?
You messed it up again.
Again, okay. I'm mispronouncing everything. You know, it comes on, it's the onset of Alzheimer's.
You know, we call it Jazzheimer's. So you just end up playing the same Duke Ellington tune over and over again and thinking that it's brand new.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like that one corner in Seattle where they have, you know, a Starbucks on every corner. And this is, you know, Henry always leads me down this path. But they take, you know, people with Alzheimer's and stuff, and they take them to the one Starbucks there because it's a long day if you're a caregiver for Alzheimer's people. And they take them to the Starbucks and they have a coffee. And they walk out and they look across the street and they say, "Hey, there's a Starbucks, let's go get a coffee. This is awesome." And that'll fill the whole afternoon. But I don't really like Seattle that much. I mean, it's a little too rainy for me.
Yeah.
And he's from Philly, basically, right?
That's why he's smiling, you know?
Ah, because he doesn't have to go to Seattle.
That's right. Okay, this album was produced by John Macy and yourself. You got to tell everybody where all this evolved because, man, everything's in here.
Yeah, it's a heck of a story. I mean, I should probably start with John Macy and I have been friends for 40 years, and he's a double platinum, multi-Grammy winning country music producer that is based out of Denver at Macy Sound Studios. But recently he collaborated with another guy named Colin. They built this huge complex out at Park Hill called Mighty Fine Productions, and it is sweet. That's where we did it.
Yeah.
And I mean, beautiful. They got a big loft up there. You can do a 100-person choir. They've got 2 grand pianos, 3 Fender Rhodeses, 20 drum sets. I mean, it was really nice. And John and I hadn't seen each other in a long time. He just called him out of the blue one day, and he says, "Man, you got to come over and see me in the studio." So I went over. We started talking, and it was kind of funny because he's just been doing straight up country because he's the on-call country guy, like around the world. He plays steel guitar with, you know, Garth Brooks and all these other people, and he just wanted to do one jazz record. He's like, "Well, all I get to do is all this. Can I do a jazz record? You know, I'll work out a great deal with you on the studio if I can just make the next Rob Mullins jazz record." And I said, "Done deal, man. We're going to do this."
It's all good, right?
It's all good. So then all of a sudden, I had met Liam and a couple other people a few months before on one of my trips to Denver, and I called everybody up and I said, "All right, you want to make an album next week? And then you take it from there."
And so we went into the studio and made an album in one day.
That's right.
Short notice, knocked it out of the park.
It was a live recording session, and we did. Should I include your nap time in the hours? How long?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's an
Liam slept
integral
52
part.
minutes during the day, but that gave me a chance to lay the percussion parts down.
Yeah.
So that was fine. And then after that, he came back and he sang, and you're going to get to hear him sing today. This is his international live vocal debut. But at Mighty Fine Studios, they've got all the, you know, every kind of tool, every kind of computer, every kind of instrument, and John makes the vibe really chill and really easy. So although it could be a stressful situation for a lot of people, I've done a lot of live albums, and jazz guys do more live albums than anybody else, usually because we have less money than anybody else. We'll be able to afford going in for 2 or 3 hours, but we got to do 12 songs. So we'll just do the whole thing. And this thing, man, the energy level and the way these young guys like Liam and Andrew Rose and Gabriel Mervine, they just played great, as everybody will hear, you know.
And just like he's saying, everybody, but you know, he always takes himself out of the product line of, "Oh, who is great?
This man.
This man." Come on, Rob.
Ah,
Come
thanks,
on,
guys.
Judas Priest.
Rob is
Every-
the singular, energetic force
I know.
behind
It's
them.
like, so Judas Priest. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Judas Priest. I love it. Now I'm part of Judas Priest. Rock on.
I thought you'd like that.
Well, you know, Henry, it's just kind of a fun thing for me to bring Liam in, because I'll tell you just a quick story before we get into all the music stuff, because we've heard the album enough times.
Right.
But, you know, we want people to hear it. But the way Liam and I met was crazy, because Dazzle Jazz, where I'm playing on Friday night at 7 o'clock and 9:30, you can get tickets at Dazzle Jazz. Rob Mullins and friends were playing the whole album live. They had, in 2019, they had these jam sessions, which was just great, because all the young players in town, the older guys, everybody gets together at Dazzle. Great stage, and then they would bring people up. So I hadn't been to a Dazzle jam session because they live in LA. So I walk in, there's a seat at the bar, and this guy's sitting in the next seat over. So I order a drink, he's drinking a beer. Hey man, what's up? Hey man, what's up? Oh yeah, my name's Liam. My name's Rob. Oh, cool. So we're shooting the breeze for a good 15 minutes. The topic of, do you play an instrument, or it didn't even come up.
Wow, you guys just shooting.
No, we just like kind of hit it off. You know, we're just like, oh, this is cool. So then all of a sudden it was our turn on the sit-in list, and the host of the jam session. Okay, now coming to the stage is Rob Mullins and Liam Zom.
At the same time.
And so then he stands up, and I didn't even know his last name, and he didn't even know my last name, and we both were like,
What?
oh.
Alrighty then.
So we go up on stage, I sit down at the piano, he sits down at the drums, and I'm like, oh, he's a drummer, and he's like, oh, Rob's a piano player. And man, from the very first note that we played, it was like, what do you call it, like two pieces of a puzzle walking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like your first sip of caffeine in the morning.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, and so we hung out after the gig. We started spending some time playing in his studio, because he had a really nice drum set and a keyboard over there. We'd get together and jam and this and that. And, you know, I know a lot of drummers. I went to high school here. I could call probably 60 drummers.
Wow.
And the reason that I called Liam is he just needed the practice so bad. No.
Rob's a charitable man.
Now, the reason that I called him is because, you know, you can feel the vibe with a person. In music, we call it the hang. And what that means is you go to an audition, like I auditioned for Mike Nesmith and the Monkees on a tour, right? And I got the gig, but I couldn't be the hang. Like, there's people in there, and they're like, oh, we can't have this guy on a bus for like 10 weeks sitting. We don't want to smell his BO in the morning, and we don't want to listen to him talk. That's the hang part of it. So
It's real.
when it is real, because
So like when you get married.
we wouldn't know about that. You've been married?
I've never been.
No, well, tell us about that.
Let me tell you about it.
Well,
It
what's
started a
that
long
like?
time ago. This is going to take a couple hours.
That's okay. That's it.
No. You just collapsed me, dude.
No, you're fine, man. We have
Fine.
sympathy music too, like a. That was after you shot her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, but anyway, the hang is a really important part of it, and I called him because musically, without having to explain what I wanted on the drums, he automatically knew what to do. So we had the like-minded musicality going, than just getting a hamburger or you know, playing, messing around in a studio or eating at Las Delicias Mexican restaurant.
He always mentions that.
Las Delicias, you're in
Shout
the
out
special
Las Delicias.
thanks
I've
on
seen
the
that.
album.
It's on this paper here. It's a special thanks. I've seen that.
And don't forget, they have one on Colorado Boulevard by DU, and then my favorite one, the original at 19th and Penn in downtown. Las Delicias Mexican restaurant, my favorite. So we'll go eat and we'll hang out, but we don't have any arguments. We're not tied up into like the Facebook and the Instagram fighting about politics all the time, and I'm right and you're wrong, and let's be vigilantes. We're none of that. We're just having a good time.
And I put mama jokes up there, you know?
You have the worst mama jokes, but then I try and not laugh.
Well, let me tell you about
And I
that.
end up laughing every time.
KS 107 put one, the same thing up there.
His jokes are
About the
horrible.
mama jokes. Jesus.
They're horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it was so bad that the doctor spanked my mama when she had me. I mean, come on. That is bad.
See, now I've got sound effects. No, you did have a couple of.
There was some good ones.
The one that I remember was your brother. It was the family joke. Your sister was so ugly when she was born that they had to tie pork chops around her neck so that the dog would play with her.
I'll give you a consolation chuckle on that.
Okay, so obviously the comedy is at a very low level.
It is.
We apologize.
Well, it starts out like this, but it builds. I mean, stay with us, because Rob Mullins is in the house talking about his new album, This Way Up.
Yes.
And he's going to be at Dazzle tomorrow night. 2 shows.
7 o'clock.
2 shows.
Yep. And the incredible Liam Zahn will be there on drums and vocals. And this is going to be my first time ever, like...
At the new Dazzle.
No, but in your studio playing any live
That's right.
music.
I always ask you to do this.
And,
and you'd always look at me like...
I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And the reason that I was able to do it today is Liam agreed to carry my stuff. I was like,
He was walking in, I mean, he looked like a pack camel, was carrying all this stuff. And
dude, he's like, he's like B.B. King and Indiana Jones at once. Come on. He's got it going on. He could like go ride into Soul Train and then out on Safari at the same time.
Put that on my online dating profile.
I've seen
that.
Yeah,
let's talk about online dating. We got like we have a 20
Tell
something.
me what kind of ladies do you attract?
Digital ones.
And they come out and they go, "Hi, you doing?"
It's a bad reference to the robot.
They sell, well, I know, but they sell the blow-up dolls that you can get. You can get the blow-up doll that came with it.
See, I tell you, I have to reel them in. People in his age range probably don't know what those are, but I want to go back to...
You fill them up with helium and then put them
Stop! Oh, and then if you get caught by your parents to say it's you're practicing for Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. No, really, what's it like to swipe left or swipe right? Like, how does that whole thing work? Is it 20-something? Dude, we're kind of beyond it.
It's pretty easy. You swipe right if you like someone, you swipe left if you don't.
And then swipe down if you want to have sex, swipe up if they pay for it.
That might be a new idea for a new app.
That's right. That's my new app.
What I would want
to the Rob Mullins app.
Hey, lady. No, the bad thing is what if you're on there and you had a few cocktails and this like really person that you don't want and they look really bad and you think that you're swiping like a 10, but you swipe the really not so cool person by accident. Can you unswipe them?
Can you unswipe?
No, that's why I was wondering.
Come on, Rob. Jesus, how can you unswipe them?
How do you?
Dude, no. Look at, he's even like, help him out. It comes with the territory.
I'm struggling here. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think you can.
See.
I think that's a real thing.
Don't pretend.
I'm not.
We're coming in for expertise.
That's like a real thing.
Okay. All right.
Live on stage today, we got Mr. Rob Mullins.
Swipe right.
Swipe right.
With his new band, Swipe Right.
Opening act, swipe left. Well, Henry, I'll tell you, it's been a few months. It's really good to see you.
You always bring life into our studio. You walk in here, you say, "Where's the lady?" You crack.
I say, "Where's the crazy astrology lady?"
Yes.
Yeah, she's channeling people to go to Mars, but Jeff Bezos or what? Because you know what happened is they put out an online petition for Jeff Bezos when he said he was shooting up in a rocket, and the headline out of the New York Post was Jeff Bezos riding his own rocket, and I was like. Looking at that, I'm like, wait a minute. And then they actually started, he has a lot of haters because he has too much money apparently. Yeah. And I didn't know it's uncool to have money, but I guess I'm cool because I don't have any money. But anyway, Bezos, then they just put out an online thing for signatures. And like 2 million people signed a thing saying, don't come back. Did you know that? It was like signatures they were circulating on Facebook.
Don't come back, just stay up there.
Hey, Jeff, it's all right. You can stay there.
It's wild. How do you have so much money? What's the point?
Well, I think the point is that at some point you should realize about charity organizations and
charity. Remember, give to the Rob Mullins Charity Organization.
Well, it's kind of
send it to KUHS. Go ahead.
Hey. Send it to liamzomswiperight.com. It's a weird thing because back when I first started making albums, jazz was a much more popular and widespread music, and we had what's called patrons of the arts. And patrons are people that would really appreciate this kind of music, because obviously it's not for everybody. you know. And one of the great ones that I worked with in the 80s and 90s was Betty Weems, who had the Weems Estate, and she funded the world's discussion. What's the world discussion thing that they have at Boulder every year? And they would bring in 100 celebrities. And she got me on that thing when I was like 30. So I'm hanging out with Roger Ebert from Chicago Times and Johnny Mandel, the great composer, Dave Grusin and Don Grusin, and these actors. And she was always saying, you know, art patronage is really important because musician careers go like this. You can be at the very top, something can happen. You can go all the way to the very bottom. And when people help musicians by sponsoring a show, corporate sponsorship is always good. Sponsoring an album, sponsoring a tour. These things are really expensive, and I mean, I'm at 40 albums. I've been through all of this stuff. Liam is just getting going, you know, so he's in more of a position now probably to need more money than I do because I've got a lot of people that do help and, you know,
contribute to the cause.
Contribute to the cause, but don't forget, you know, charities, jazz people, jazz musicians, we need as much help as anybody else because you see on there Taylor Swift, oh yeah, 133 billion views on YouTube, and she made $2 million. Not everybody is Taylor Swift, folks.
That's right.
It's like you have this little group of people at the very, very top, and then it drops off a cliff for all of the rest of us.
Rob, tell me something. Okay, you've got this big show coming up tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You've got something really hot planned. I know you do. It's Rob. You just don't step into a venue without something in your mind. I mean, you may have it all planned out, everybody's ready, you rehearsed and stuff.
Right.
But you have something planned for everybody.
Well, I'm not.
Come on, give us a little.
I'm not.
For those who want to go to Dazzle,
Well,
Rob's going to tell you what. A little sneak peek here.
I think what we ought to do is we ought to have the first sneak peek just be Liam singing a tune.
Okay, so we're going to do that right now. What do you say?
Okay.
Okay, so right now we're going to feature Rob Mullins on keyboards, the infamous Rob Mullins, and Liam on vocals. So we're going to go
Breaking rocks and serving my time. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang, 'cause they done convicted me of crime. Hold it, all I hit it. Breaking that, all I get it. Been working and working, but I still got so terribly far to go. Done committed crime, Lord, I need it. Crime of being hungry, Lord. Left the grocery store, man, breathing, when they caught me robbing the store. And working, but I still got so terrible.
Oh, just work it. Work it.
And that serving was brought to you by KUHS Radio TV in Denver, Colorado. That's what you're going to have tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
Two shows.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, was that smooth?
Smooth, baby.
Oh, damn.
Smooth on the Smoothie Jazz Show right here live at KUHS Radio TV Denver.
Man, that's some sweet stuff. But Rob, we've always known you. On the piano, you've done 40 albums, and you brought, I like the one where you did it for, it was Valentine's Day. You remixed some of the songs, and
Oh, yeah, right.
that was so slick. And we
Two
play-
of Hearts, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Two of Hearts, and you throw that up every now and then because that's still available. You can also buy that on.
Two of Hearts is the latest of my smooth jazz records.
Mhm.
But you know, I noticed going back and looking through my career, I didn't even set out in the beginning like, okay, I'm 21, I'm going to make 40 albums. All I wanted to do was make sure that after we got into the studio, A, that it didn't suck, and that B, that we could afford to make an album cover, maybe get some distribution. We were making vinyl LPs in those days. We weren't even making cassettes. It was all vinyl LPs in 1981. And we used to go to this place called the Campus Lounge right off of Bonnie Brae University.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and our meetings would be in the back room of the pool room back there. And the guy that was financing us was in the band. And we didn't realize that he, you know, kind of dealt in illegal substances, shall we say. But he was always disappearing and coming back with money and say, okay, we got 200 more for the album fund, right? And then one day we had enough money and we made the albums and we sent off to this place called the pressing plant. We got them back to the house and we're all sitting in the living room. We opened up the box and it's like, Dancing Through the Day, Rob Mullins, the first album. And then Laura Newman, the sax player.
She used to be in AOA, right? No,
Yeah, she's like your top friend on Facebook.
That's right,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so Laura Newman is holding. She goes, "Well, we got the albums. Now what are we supposed to do?"
Market them, promotion.
And I thought to myself, you know, that's a very good question. So I said, no, really, it should be. We go to a radio station because KADX was the big radio station in those days. There was a DJ there I'm still friends with named Pat McNulty.
I know that.
You know that name, and I had the album. I called the station. Well, luckily, I had a really cute girl assistant named Shelly. I said, Shelly, can you go with me to the station because I'm terrified to meet the incredible, famous, you know, Pat McNulty. She's like, okay, that's fine. I'll take it. All right, yeah. Mr. McNulty, hi.
That's how they do it.
She's like Vanna White, you know. And he said, oh, that's Rob Mullins. Let me put that on. And boom, he put on the album on the air, and from that moment on, I've never lost my excitement about hearing my music on the air. Because it's an amazing thing. You know, you can be driving down the freeway. It's happened to me in LA and Tokyo and Moscow and New York City. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm, you know, it was Chick Corea, then it was me, then it was Miles Davis, then it was me, then it was Herbie Hancock, and then it's going to be Liam. Because he's going to be part of the future of jazz as well as all these other things. I mean,
Isn't this interesting, though,
I'm
Rob?
so
You make
stoked.
I'm so stoked for you, bro.
you make the response about you're all over in all these cities.
Mhm.
That was because it was syndicated radio stations. Now
Right.
there's a new method,
Mhm.
and one radio station can syndicate across the world, and that's
Right.
using platforms, which we do. We've been doing it. Jinx Jones was in here. He had his new album. We went to jazz. Jinx Jones. I mean, come on. But it was cool. He says, man, we were driving down the freeway on the coast there and listening in the car to KUHS out of Denver with my whole album. It's like, wow, it was so cool. It's a whole different ball of wax now.
And when Henry talks about platforms, it's not just his shoes he wears in secret at home, pretending he's Pee Wee Herman.
Well, I do also, no, but I do wear my bell bottoms with it, so it looks cool. You know, I look kind of tall.
No, but we did do the Pee Wee Herman theme song, Tequila, on this album. And we should start with that. Let's play number 11, Mrs. Robinson Drinks Tequila. Let me give the history of this real quick before you hit play. So Mrs. Robinson was in a movie. It was a movie for, you know, Henry and I were young when it came out. Did you ever even hear of it?
No.
No, you didn't even know about it, which is fine. I don't want to pollute you, you know, with all your purity and your swipage. I'm swiping. Okay, praise the Lord, he swept. All right, so anyway, so it was this movie. And Paul Simon wrote this song about it, and it was I always heard it as a Latin jazz tune, so I've been playing it for years as a Latin jazz tune. Then in the meantime, Pee Wee Herman came around, and he had the crazy shoes, and he had the little dance to tequila and all that, and that was part of the culture. So what I did is I did a mashup of Mrs. Robinson and the song Tequila, and I call it say it with me, Mrs. Robinson Drinks Tequila.
Can we play it now?
Here we go!
Oops. Great music, the way you put this together.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
You know, got to tell you, Rob, you outdid yourself on this album.
Are the mics live now?
No.
Okay. Well, you know what? The pressure excites me. It's just like when you're on a deadline.
Yes.
You know, the pressure.
That's what it was. You were like, Rob, where's the music? Where's the music? I got to launch this on Monday.
I know. And then
I thought you were going to have it. I'm telling you, it'll be on. It'll be on.
well, you and I are that way. We thrive under pressure. And I only had a week to put all these charts together and to rehearse and to get together with the guys. We only practiced one time. For like 2
You know,
hours.
you have seriously seasoned musicians, though, around.
Not him.
He is, I can tell.
He's not seasoned.
He's a sweet protege. That's why
He's
you have
rosemary
him
and
next to
thyme. Thyme.
you. He does his triple
Rapping.
his paradiddles.
He's got his
and
double-
flim flams.
Double fluff him
You think I
again.
knew all about it.
Yeah. I mean, he actually is a very
His
rhythmical
splashes
drummer.
and his
Got all the
rim
cool
shots
things.
and everything.
Hand me the CD so I hold it up. But the video's still on, right?
Yes, video's still on. You dance like you have platform shoes on. You did wear your platform shoes. Oh, Lord. There it is, right?
There is that good too. Friday nights. Thanks, man. Wow, look how cool you look on the phone, bro. You know, you could just turn this on your phone and watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think my family has it.
You can watch it right here, too.
And watch it right over there. My spot there. Totally cool.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the man.
Well, you look more handsome on the video than you do in live time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say
I
that.
thought you said the mics weren't on.
They're not. Okay, we always have to. First time he came in here, it was so cool. It was like, Jesus.
We've always been happy.
We took it into a different area there. I
We
mean,
went to a different dimension just for the first time.
because Dr. Newsom was here, she had his fingers first, and the energy was still within.
Right, man. I came to the door and the ghost vapors were just still wafting out, you know, into the George Norrie
He
show.
walked in, he said, whoa.
I was like, whoa. It's Halloween every Thursday at 11. I don't really believe in the Halloween thing, man. I think it's a little creepy. I don't celebrate Halloween. I think it's kind of dumb. It's a little satanic, kind of weird. You know, if you want to have like something where there's people out in your yard with like blood and bones and they're all messed up, just come to the Venice Beach Boardwalk any Friday.
Yes, yes.
It's all happening, dude. We don't even call it Halloween. We call it the weekend. Tequila.
That's what you had in there, didn't you? He spiked it, didn't you, before?
Dude.
Because I gotta have my coffee.
I have to have my coffee. The coffee's gotta be the bomb.
I promise I wouldn't say anything.
You guys are
You're a good
really,
musician.
you guys are really mean to me. I try really hard to
It's
be
your heartbeat, dude.
These drums are
Now, what kind of drums do you play?
I have
Cheap
DW.
ones.
DW, good stuff.
DW acrylic drum.
Out of Chicago, aren't they out of Chicago?
I'm not sure when they're out of Chicago. I know they're in California.
In California, but that's
Tijuana.
He said that to me with a serious look on his face.
He's lying about the mics being off. I know they're on.
No problem.
Turn them on. Fade the music. Let's talk some more.
Okay, let's go.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Here we are, Henry, Liam, and me. Yes, welcome back to KUHS TV Denver, streaming live all the time, man. This guy Henry, he's got an oldie show, he's got 2 jazz shows, he's got like the Outer Space Lady, he's got Ignite with Melissa, which is...
That's really good. She's really fired that up. She takes it all over the place.
Yeah.
She does it purposely just to pull in those, good audience. You know?
I was on her show and it was awesome.
Yeah, she can really change it up sometimes. She'll be this way, that way. Where'd you go with that?
Yeah, I like, well, during the break, folks, when you were hearing the music and we were talking, Henry was asking Liam about his drum set and stuff. So let's talk Gearhead for a minute.
Oh,
about the
yeah.
drum set.
DW,
DW.
acrylic, see-through.
See-through.
So you can see, right through it.
You can see right through it.
He goes up on stage without any underwear, no pants, nothing.
Yeah,
I
I
see
wear
right through.
see-through clothing too.
You see what I have to put up with,
Yes.
people? I have my
You swipe
Bible.
right. You
I have my
swipe right.
Bible right here in my carry-on. Don't make me pull it out and straighten you guys out.
May the power of Christ compel you.
You're a Looney Tunes, man.
I resemble that remark.
I'm always happy to be real, man.
I resemble that remark.
But you know, it's kind of a fun thing. I mean, and by the way, this isn't really a show about religion and stuff like that. But what I want to say about religion and all the religions in the world and everything out there is that
Say it
I
softly.
go by the Force. So I don't care if you're Buddhist or Christian or communist. That's not a religion, is it? Communism. No, sorry. See, obviously I have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you've got the right feeling and you know that you're making the right decisions, you're doing the right thing, you'll be rewarded, in your life.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. I know it sounds stupid and corny, but there is good stuff out there and there's bad stuff out there. And I don't know why
He's got a
people
force with him. Every time he walks in, there's this energy level. That, no, Rob, no.
I got a Las
And then he gets on
Delicias.
the piano and then takes you apart if you're a musician. We gonna play one more?
Yeah, sure. I got a Las Delicias and I load up on the beans and then I come right to the studio. Time it about a half hour later. There's no ventilation in here, folks. You figured it out.
What are we gonna play now? You got something in mind?
Yeah.
We're gonna do something.
What do you want to do?
Ain't no sunshine?
Ain't no sunshine, okay?
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and it's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, and I know, 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 I know. Hey, I leave young dead alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Oh, but that was every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Oh, darkness every day. Dee-da-dee-da. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. no sunshine when she's gone. She goes away. And she
That's Rob Mullins. You're catching tomorrow night 2 shows at Dazzle. Man, that's so, it's like,
It's
it
real.
got into me, almost made me want to play the piano.
No.
Let me touch it. Let me touch it.
You are not allowed to touch the keyboard devices
Let me
or the
touch the
drums.
keyboard.
Stay in your own
Let
area.
me show you.
Through
Just let me
microphone.
touch it.
Broadcast always
Please,
have a
let me
left.
touch it. Slap it right.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
you put lower or whatever.
Oh my god. Oh, I have the power of the slider. Well, all of a sudden it got quiet and we're back to the show. Cool, and speaking of the show, what are we going to do tomorrow, Liam? We're playing live where?
At Dazzle, Denver.
Yep.
2
What
shows,
time?
7 p.m. and 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and get your tickets online at dazzlejazz.com.
That's right.
He wouldn't even let me touch his keyboard, but this is a key. We got to tell him about the keyboard. That's what I was going to do.
Oh, yeah, this is a Key Station 49 ES. They're $99 at Guitar Center. And when Liam's friend who was going to loan me a keyboard for this week pooped out, I had to go buy this. Thanks, Liam's friend. But it's plugged into a Macintosh MacBook Pro running Logic Pro X, and I'm using the default patch, the Fender Rhodes patch, out of that. Running into a borrowed USB MIDI transmitted speaker system borrowed from Joe Andrews' basement. That's directly by me. That really.
Yeah, no.
Yo, Joe.
That's nice.
That thing, it's from like Washington Park, so there's like little Girl Scout cookies flyers in there and stuff, and then little bag
Yeah,
tied
it's
to
like a Jesus.
there's a little bag, green bag tied to the side, says, pick up after your dog. It's just like that.
That's
Okay.
damn funny.
All right, go ahead.
You're all right, Rob. I don't care what they've been saying about you.
Doesn't really matter.
They say all kinds of cool things. It's Rob Mullins, 40 albums deep into his
Yes.
music career, and he's a product of KUHS now.
Right,
Like-
and the Denver Public Schools.
Oh yeah, Denver. Oh, that's where you first started with the jazz ensemble from way
At
back when.
Abraham Lincoln High School, Federal and Evans.
I'll never forget that. You made that band popular, single-handedly. You may say not, but that's all I ever heard. You gotta go see the band. There's this keyboard player in there. Everybody pointed to you.
Well, and then I ran away because I didn't. But Henry, let's talk about maybe some more cuts off the album. Do you want to play Take
Yes.
5 or Chameleon? That's a
Let's
good
play
one.
Chameleon.
Let's play Chameleon.
I like Chameleon.
So the album, folks, it's more like the party stuff that I've done in my club shows all these years, or a festival. This is dance, it's stand-up and dance music. It's high energy. The live show tomorrow will be even higher energy. And my philosophy about instrumental music has always been, yeah, it can be serious. Yeah, you can have a story to tell, but it should also be fun. And you should go through life with a sense of humor. You shouldn't be depressed all the time talking about how sad everything is. Even the LA Times.
But, you know, it's been just.
Well, Henry, on the other hand, his life is really sad. So, as soon as the cameras go off, it's like tissues. We call the shrink. We got the spiritual lady outside. There's paramedics. It's
They're like, I'm good. Something's going on.
I swiped left and she's still in my house.
Yes. I was trying to get her out. She wanted to have sex all night long. I did, and then she wanted to have sex all morning long.
That's what happens.
And then all day long.
Well, and then.
Then she wanted me to make her breakfast.
Well, I'm actually a really good breakfast cook.
After sex or before sex?
Any morning. I don't need. I can go with or without sex.
That's a big fat
I need the
lie.
breakfast.
Did you just hear him? Don't believe that's a big fat lie. Say that again.
I said I have my Bible right
And
here.
you can go without.
I can go without sex before I could
This
go
is
without.
his girlfriend. Show us your girlfriend.
You know, this is a funny story that local people will recognize. Is that?
Sorry, Rob.
Okay, hold on. No, this is funny. So I had a bass player named Marty Reddy, and Marty was just always cracking crazy jokes and we were at the Regas Cafe. Older people will remember Evans and Colorado Boulevard. I was there 5 years, 5 nights a week in the 80s. So we made lots of friends and stuff. And we would go through these periods where, you know, we couldn't really get the girls to talk to us or whatever. And then I said, Marty, how's the dating going? And one night he like pulls out his wallet and he says, I'm so lonely, I'm carrying around a picture of my hand. Yeah.
Oh, don't touch this. Don't. I was gonna say don't. Touch it.
Well, and guys, if you want to call in and talk to us live on air, Henry actually has a working phone. So what's the number?
It's right here.
Well, I've been getting a bunch of calls and texts this morning myself. Let's see what's up. Ba 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 ba. Oh no, somebody wants to sell me something on text message. God. Hey Liam,
Yo.
do you like the world of the cell phone and all that? Do you find it more helpful? Because to me, it's just become annoying. Like if I could get by without a cell phone, I would do.
Yeah, I like to turn it off for long periods of time.
You do?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you feel okay. During the pandemic, a lot of people would have their phones off for a long time. Because you knew that even if you got called for a gig, the club was going to be closed, so it doesn't matter. Right?
Or you'd have somebody just call you, pretend like they were calling you for a gig.
Well, you know.
Hey, Rob, I got a big gig here. It's a 4,000 people concert event. Ways out. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Ways out.
Ways out. Yeah, well, a lot of my friends that are with the big time touring stuff, man, they just got fatigue. They got postponement fatigue is what they got, you guys. It was like Stan Barron's with War. Yeah, man, they pushed the April concerts. No, and then, oh, no, September, that got moved, and no, we're going to back it all up. Same thing with Jimmy Roberts and Rod Stewart.
Yes, all of them.
And they just said, no, we have to push.
Santana, Earth, Wind.
Santana, you know, we got to push it back a little bit. And then after a while, you're like, okay, you pushed it all the way back into, you know, 2022. There's no work there.
Yeah.
So it gets a little nutty. Let's play some more music.
Okay, I'm ready for commercials.
More music. Commercials. I love commercials. They pay for everything. Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna buy up with the Chameleon this Friday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're doing it, man.
You gotta tell us what camera you're running.
They have like a 9-foot Yamaha Grand at Dazzle. They have 4 grand pianos
Jesus.
at Dazzle. It's really nice.
What's the brand name?
They got a few. They got a Baldwin, a couple Yamahas.
Which is your favorite?
The one that's on the stage that I'm on.
Keep it up, Rob.
No, I'm trying to get to your website to see how the stream's going.
It's usually down. The stream is down. Like go down a little bit.
Is it live on video
Yes,
too?
live on video. Keep going down.
There we are.
Yes, sir. There's 2 sides. That's
Oh, nice. That's us.
It's us, baby.
Look at us.
Look at that.
We look good.
We're looking good.
and on the other side, if you go down, you catch the Facebook.
Doesn't go any farther.
Okay.
That's okay.
No.
Happening. All right, I'm gonna step out just for a second.
Whoever needs Mexican food, beans in him. Mom! I'll talk to you. I mean, I'll talk because he just stepped out on it. It's like walking out, walking off stage. You know, it's wild. What do you think?
About Rob.
Rob walking out.
I think everybody needs a break sometimes.
I got you on that one. Rob Mullins, don't forget, tomorrow night, Dazzle. That's going to be really spectacular. You want to check that show out. He's going to be on the show.
I'll be on drums. I'll be singing a couple songs. I'll be hanging out afterward. I'll be there before.
And all the single ladies, he is handing out kisses. Come up
Kisses
here. That's a good idea. You could say that on stage. You get a kiss with the purchase of a CD and not from Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, from someone who has protected lips.
Oh, no. They're registered and insured, right?
I don't have a lip card. I don't have a COVID lip card yet, but I'm sure he's got one.
I got my lips vaccinated.
That's nice, man.
He got his lips vaccinated.
The mics are on.
I got it.
No. Bad.
I got a COVID shot in both my lips.
See?
And so he gets lip locks, you know, so don't forget, you buy a CD Friday night, you get a kiss from Lynn. Not Rob, Lynn.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare you.
As long as you're rich and
I'm not very mad at you, Rob, I mean, come on.
You calm down over there, swipe lefter. You lefty. You swipe him left.
What's that alcohol that you Tinder. Hey, you're real Tinder.
Other ones too, there's like Bumble.
Bumble.
What does Bumble do?
That's the girls have to message first.
Girls message first,
Bumblebees.
and then it's Bumblebees.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I know why
They pull out their stinger.
yeah, they pull out their stinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's over.
So
That's the Black Widow. Okay, what other ones are there?
I don't know. There's one called Hinge I know about. I think that's like serious. People trying to like find a wife or a husband.
I wouldn't call
I don't know. I don't use. I don't know.
You don't have to.
No.
It's just not nothing but cougars.
He's too young and handsome. He doesn't need his naps. All he has to do is like
That's what I'm
walk out of the house,
saying. Hey, babe.
stand on the corner,
The following.
look like Fred Astaire and Indiana Jones at once. That's what he does.
That's what it does, right up on stage.
Cheers, everybody. Happy Thursday afternoon. Good to see you all. Very cool.
We're gonna raise them now. That's what I look like in the gym.
You're listening to Million. You're going to go tomorrow night. Make sure and go to the Jazz Club.
Jazzle.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
The Jazzle.
You want to play one more? You want to do one more before we call it an hour?
No,
Okay. Sorry. I mean, why do you get all like upset?
You gotta
Take your
save-
time. Tell me how you feel.
I gotta save something for the gig. Once again, tomorrow night, Dazzle. It's 15th and Curtis in downtown Denver.
Yes.
There's 3 levels of tickets, VIP. There's like 4 of those left. There's 35. General seating is 20, and then the seats in the back for you cheapskates out there, only $10. So don't be hitting me up on my Facebook. Oh, I can't afford it. It's $10.
And they're all great seating.
They're all good seats, and you can also walk around. And we'll have my CD. Where's my CD? We'll have my CD on sale for $20.
And if you
And-
buy one, you get a kiss from Lemon. That's
And an autograph as well. So, and I have a few copies of Storyteller, Nearness of You, Only in Venice. Some of the other things, we'll have a little table set up off to the side. Also in the band, Joe Andries on soprano sax and flute, Gabriel Mervine on trumpet and flugelhorn. And I had never worked with Gabriel before, right? Because Joe Andries knows all the guys here. And the original guy we called pooped out and had an attitude, like, bypass, give me somebody else. And he goes, try Gabriel Mervine. I said, oh, I don't think I know him. He says, dude, he's a trumpet player named Gabriel. How are you going to go wrong? Right? So it's him and Gonzalo Tepa on basses. 5-piece band. We got a lot of surprises. I'm going to have a lot of friends there. A lot of people are flying from all over the country. And, you know, 40 years, 40 albums. If you've been part of my life, thank you so much for helping me even be here at all to make this much music for the world. I've had a great time. It's been a lot of fun. I'll be telling stories about various moments of my career.
Whatever you do, don't bring up the studio, okay?
Okay. Looking forward to seeing so many friends all the way back to high school in person, new friends, older friends. And please, folks, remember there will be a digital release of this in August on Apple and Spotify and everywhere else. And I'll hope that you'll, you know, even if you're in Henry's senior citizen age range, we know that you have grandkids, we know you have nieces, nephews, and children. Share this music with them too, but it's a generational thing that you pass down.
But just like you said, the senior citizen thing, but I'm at a high level of high energy with high level of high tech.
Dude, I've never seen wheelchairs go faster, bro.
That's right.
It's unbelievable. He's out in the park. The guy's got donuts going on.
And it's digital.
It's a digital donut wheelchair by Hasbro.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
nice. You should see it.
Pretty
Except Rob was trying to let me, let me write that, let me write it. No, dude.
No, well, when you come to Venice, you don't get on my skateboard. So
Well,
there
that
you go.
skateboard was electric, man. You were
Yeah,
what the hell?
that's true.
Battery operated.
Well,
You didn't even know
when they
that.
came up with these bird scooters and stuff, man, I was thinking, oh, now it's,
Yes,
now you have the
yeah,
height
Dazzle
of
Ups. That's
the
a
height of
surprise.
this generation of people. It's like, well, I want to go on a scooter, but I don't want to really pedal or anything because I'm on my phone and like, Megan's texting me right now, so I want to do that. I need to like get there. Yeah, I think those scooters are lame, man. I give them the right of way. I let them be on the road and everything, and I'm courteous about it. But I'm not down with the scooters.
At all.
Harleys, yes.
Scooters, no.
Scooters, no. Anyway,
What's a Harley?
it's part of a Davidson.
Oh, I know those people.
Yeah, you know those people. Hey, man, thanks so much for having me
Oh,
on
this
here,
is
bro.
cool. I always have
We
fun.
really had a great time.
And
Thanks for
it's all,
listening, everybody.
Up tempo with Rob, always, all the time to have him here at the studio. He always brings the best. He's always high energy. He is an awesome keyboard you want to go see at Dazzle. I mean, awesome. Everybody who tells me they go and see Rob live, I mean, here he just gave you a little taste, and you heard how fine that was. Go see him at Dazzle, right? 2 shows, 7 and 9:30.
Yep.
Remember, they're going to sell out, and everybody loves Rob Mullins.
Thanks, man.
Any last messages to anybody?
Yeah, my slogan going into this year, but also I want to thank Liam Broski
Yes.
for coming in.
Yeah, but
Liam's international debut, live TV singing. I'm so glad I talked him into being a singer because he was just mostly in the shower before I bothered him to do it.
That's true.
Doing what in the
Still
shower?
mostly in the shower.
Yeah, but my slogan going out for this part of my life is this, and I thought a lot about it before I came up with this, and I did have help from a very old friend, and I didn't tell her that she was helping me, and I thought about it. My slogan is 40 years, 40 albums, no regrets. That's it. I had a great time. It's just been fun. I'm always looking forward, not looking back. Please come celebrate with me on Friday night this
Rob, you're going to make me
achievement.
cry.
Well, we cry.
Yeah, I have feelings.
We cry when Liam plays the clarinet. He's a horrible clarinet
He was
player.
watching me cry. That was good.
That was my
It
second
looked
horrible.
good. It was good.
It was good. It was good for the screen. It was good for TV.
All right, man. Let's do.
We're going to end with this.
Yeah. What are we going to end with? Ooh La La, the Casa Bonita song. Now, when I
see
wrote
a big
this,
story about Casa Bonita this
I
morning.
wrote this song for Casa Bonita because it's just that cheesy. And I was sad to see that they were, and also Janet Poff at Liqueur, because I wrote it
Right.
when I was at Liqueur, at that little jazz club that sadly closed. But this is just kind of a campy calypso thing. It's all about the fun. It has, it would have been perfect for Casa Bonita's TV commercials with the
Yes.
divers and
Yes.
everything. So let's roll out with Ooh La La, and thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all later. Rob Mullins in the house. You take it easy. You'll be at tomorrow doing his thing. So see y'all later.